Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP, and once again this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.98. XRP stayed in the green for the most part of today, but everybody's waiting for that breakout to happen. Right now, it's kind of like we're just going sideways, waiting for some upward movement. Now, the Bitcoin maxis, they are predicting a pullback on Bitcoin right now after it achieved a new all-time high. Now, if Bitcoin does pull back, it's going to take the rest of the market with it. I want to see Bitcoin continue upward, go on that final ascent before it comes crashing down. But we are still following Bitcoin still. Everybody thinks it's alt season right now. It is not alt season yet. Here's XRP price if 100 Treasury companies stack 300 million XRP each. Now, we know there's a lot of Treasury companies already interested in buying up XRP, but this is what the price would be. Short term, 3 to 6 months, as companies begin accumulating, the price could rise to $5 to $10. This reflects the immediate impact of reduced supply and early FOMO, with buyers absorbing sell orders up to 2 to 3 times the current price. Medium term, 6 to 12 months. With 30 billion XRP removed, the liquid supply could have, and sustained demand could push prices to $15 to $30. This assumes retail and institutional investors pile in, amplifying the corporate buying pressure. Long term, 12 to 24 months. If XRP's utility grows, Ripple net adoption, and the market perceives it as a reserve asset for payments, prices could reach $50 to $100 in an extreme bull case. This assumes a feedback loop of adoption, scarcity, and speculative mania. What they didn't factor in is ISO going live. They also didn't factor in regulatory clarity coming from Washington. That could really get things moving. But we're going to see a lot of companies over the coming months start to stack XRP, and they plan on holding it long term. They're not going to sell just because the price went up during alt season. They're going to hold it and utilize it. Of course, XRP is breaking its beta. Even top analysts are noticing what's happening. While most altcoins move with Bitcoin, XRP is moving on its own fundamentals. XRP every once in a while starts to outperform Bitcoin, starts to move on its own. But take a listen to what they say here.
Those things usually trade with beta, right? And there's that. Of course, XRP is breaking its beta, but that's okay because the narrative in XRP blows basically compared to the narrative in others, and we could talk about why. But there's a lot going on here, and I think that this is a far more fundamental, climbing a wall of worry sort of market than it is anything else.
They cannot believe that XRP is getting adoption. They cannot believe that XRP now is going to become the future. Everybody's telling you it's happening already, but they just can't bring themselves to believe it. Instead, they always like to say, well, the narrative around XRP blows. The XRP sucks. XRP is a banker's coin. It's like, but at the same time, the banks are interested in utilizing XRP instead of utilizing SWIFT. They will finally play catch up when the price is skyrocketing on XRP. The I'm too busy to research Bitcoin starter pack. You could say this about any crypto. Right now, there's so many people out there. They go out to the bar, they blow most of their money week over week, and if they're not doing that, they're watching football or they're gaming or they're watching the mainstream media news. And that's what they do. They keep you distracted by all of these things so you don't invest into something like crypto. And crypto is absolutely life-changing. I mean, once you start investing in crypto, it becomes an addiction. You want to keep buying more and more and more. But the good thing is, eventually, it really pays off. It's like an addiction that pays for itself over time. And people are going to regret missing out on the opportunity that's happening right now because they're too distracted by everything else that's going on. Think about all the people you told about crypto that never got invested. I talk to people all the time and I'm like, are you in crypto? And they're like, no, I don't like crypto. It's not for me. They always have some sort of excuse. I don't want to tie up my money. But, you know, if you invest right now, you are not tying up your money long term because we're about to see this market really start popping off. XRP is the largest financial cover-up in history. Take a listen to this.
I won't call it a conspiracy theory, but do you believe that there is a shadow engagement happening around XRP right now already?
Absolutely. I think the whole narrative around XRP at this point is one of the largest financial cover-ups in history. And
There you
to
go.
my
Financial cover-up.
brothers,
That's going to be the headline today.
And think about it, it is a major cover-up. Nobody wants to talk about XRP. On the mainstream media news, their big narrative is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And every once in a while now, they start talking about Solana. But they always try to avoid talking about XRP as much as they can. And even when new investors come into the crypto space, most of the Bitcoin maxis try to right away tell them, well, XRP is not for you. It's a banker's coin. It's centralized. It's everything that it is against freedom, and it's not sound money like Bitcoin. They have to get that retail exit liquidity into Bitcoin. But XRP is eventually going to be talked about everywhere because they're not going to be able to not talk about it once it's getting adopted all around the world. XRP is headed for a new all-time high while contending with Wall Street on its way. So they're finally starting to notice that Wall Street is coming into crypto. And they cite BlackRock as well. XRP beats BlackRock in market cap as price targets new all-time high. BlackRock is not going to miss out on the XRP opportunity. I am sure BlackRock already holds a lot of XRP, and I think they're going to file for that ETF. It's most likely that will be the go signal for XRP ETFs. But BlackRock, you honestly think that they're just going to sit back and watch XRP go by and push the Bitcoin narrative forever? Absolutely not. That narrative is going to shift, and when it happens, it's going to happen suddenly. It's not going to come with a warning. You're just going to wake up one day and the narrative has just shifted because BlackRock tends to control the narrative. Ripple is entering the private credit industry, $40 trillion industry, and so is BlackRock, literally at the same time when XRP Ledger announced its multi-purpose token. Also, same time while BlackRock will be at Ripple swell. I think BlackRock and Ripple are they're going down the same path, same agenda, because the elites, they control BlackRock and they also control Ripple, and they control the IMF and the BIS and the central banks. That's why I always told you, everything that we're watching right now, this is orchestrated. This was all put together years ago, even before Bitcoin ever existed. They already knew the plan going forward, but they needed something to push out there that would get adoption so people could get used to crypto, so they could understand that crypto can go very high in price. Now we're going to see the final product, XRP. XRP witnesses explosive 235% surge in fund inflows as XRP Etf Fomo plays out. So what they're saying is that we're already seeing early signs of ETF FOMO. people positioning themselves ahead of the ETFs going live. Now, we don't know exactly when that's going to happen because the government is still shut down. If the government reopens, I think the SEC is going to fast track these ETFs. And again, people are even saying that the government shutdown coincides with ISO and coincides with the rise of the new financial system. We got to see where everything goes from here. Everybody's still speculating on a lot of this. But I do know that the institutions, they're going to want to get positioned. Everybody's going to get positioned right before those ETFs go live. That's why I think the price of XRP throughout the rest of this month is going to continue to see inflows. And it doesn't take a lot of money to move the price of XRP. You think it's late. The smart money hasn't even entered yet. The bulk of institutional capital, the money that truly moves the world, has yet to enter the crypto market. That's what I'm always telling you. You beat the institutions here, but time is running out. The institutions are about to enter this space. And this comes from the Dtcc. I just did a video where I was talking about how 2030 is not the actual timeline. It's much sooner. And this settlement client roadmap points it all out to you. So you see, Q1 2026, PSE connectivity testing, product connectivity testing. Also, ISO 222 simulator will overlap with that. UAT available, production available, decommissioned interfaces. That means the old system will be disappearing. UAT, product availability, decommissioned interfaces. And then you see the production go live between Q3 and Q4 2027. By 2027, I'm already expecting XRP to be above 3 digits. I think it's going to start with the ETF money flowing into XRP. That's going to get the price moving upward. But it also then will allow XRP to be utilized within ISO messages, meaning that the liquidity will be there for that to happen. Then everything else is going to start really pushing forward. Things will start to accelerate as we head into 2027. But I think if we're going to see XRP and we're going to see the banks come out into the testing phase, I think that's only probably 24 months away. It might even happen much sooner. Because what we've noticed so far with this fourth industrial revolution that we're in right now is that everything seems to be speeding up along the way. And then there's this, and I had to share this post. Took me 8 years to accumulate 1,295 XRP. Each week I aim to buy at least 3 XRP. One day, 1,295 XRP will be worth $1.2 million. Now, I'm surprised he only has 1,295 XRP, because if you were to go back to 8 years, XRP back then, I think, was still under a penny. But I would never show my bag on X or tell anybody how much XRP I'm holding. And I don't suggest any of you to do that either. Not even in the comments section. Don't be talking about how much XRP you're holding. You will only make yourself a future target. And I even thought that this post might be a fake post, like made up. And maybe it's just a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of money. And there's a lot of people in this space. And I always tell people, you know, invest whatever you can afford. Every little bit helps you get one step closer to financial freedom. And that 1,295 XRP, there's a good chance in this run, if XRP goes above $50, that's going to be worth over 50 grand. Think about that. And that puts things into perspective. And a few years from now, most likely by next year or the following year, most people won't be able to accumulate 1,295 XRP at all. most people will be buying maybe 50 or 100 XRP because the price is going to be so much higher. There's a lot of people saying that they're priced out of XRP right now, and they're moving on to XDC or XLM or Flare. You know, everybody has their own way of investing. Everybody has a certain amount of money that they can afford to invest into XRP. And I always said, new investors coming to this space, they're not going to be able to accumulate what people were accumulating a year or two ago when XRP was even at 50 cents. But along the way, you're going to have buyers at every single price point. But buy whatever you can afford. This way you could stay patient until it happens, until XRP hits those much higher price points. But like I said at the beginning of this video, right now there's not a whole lot of price movement on XRP. It's kind of going up and down, and we've seen that all day long today as well. And even as it starts to break out a little bit, every time XRP moves up maybe 3 or 4 cents, people think this is the moment we've been waiting for. Everybody gets excited when that happens. Just wait until XRP is jumping up by 50 cents or $1 during alt season. That's going to be exciting to see because we haven't seen that in previous runs. Only the 2017-2018 run was like that. This time around, I think it's going to be a hell of a lot bigger. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.